In this topic, we're going to look at defining the centre of a circle, diameter, radius, circumference, arc, chord, sector, segment, and tangent. We'll also be able to calculate the circumference of a circle and find the perimeter of a shape involving parts of a circle, calculate the area of a circle, and solve problems involving circumference and area. 10.1 Circle terminology. So what we should know is that right in the middle here is the centre of the circle. From the centre of circle out to the edge, the name of that line is called a radius. And from one side of the circle to the other, passing through the centre, is a diameter. Any other line that passes from one side of the circle that doesn't go through the centre is called a chord. The outside of a circle, so the perimeter of a circle, is called the circumference. A line outside of a circle that touches the circle at one point is called a tangent. The area contained within part of a circle, so contained between two radii, so this area in here is called a sector. An area to the left or to the side of a chord is called a segment. The part on the outside of the circle, outside of a sector, and this part is called the arc length. Suppose we had measured some circles. So we'd found some circle, we'd got a piece of string. So the best way to measure a circle is to put a piece of string and wrap it around the outside of it and then lay it out flat and measure it. So if we've done that for 4 different circles and we've got their circumferences to be 18.84, 56.52, 31.4 and 47.1. And then we measure the diameter of it, so that would be the distance from one edge to the other through the middle. And we get them to be 6, 18, 10 and 15. Well, from that, we should know that the diameter, or the radius, is half the diameter. So the radius each time is going to be 3, 9, 5 and 7.5. And the one other thing that we can try and do is divide the circumference by the diameter, just to see what happens. So if we do 18 divided by 6, we get 3.14. And if we do 56.52 divided by 18, we also get 3.14. 31.4 divided by 10 is 3.14. And 47.1 divided by 15 is 3.14. So what have we discovered? Well, we've discovered that dividing the circumference by the diameter always gives this 3.14. Do you know anything about this number? Well, maybe you do, but this number is called pi, and it's not just 3.14, it's 3.1415 and so on. Pi is a Greek letter of the alphabet, and we can write it like so. Now, by definition, pi is the ratio of the circumference to the diameter. Pi is always the same number no matter how we use it, or what size of a circle we use to compute it. So pi is the symbol we use to represent it, and to this number of decimal places, that's how accurate it is. For any purpose, we can use 3.14 as an approximation, but we should always check to say what the question says first of all. And March 14th is Pi Day, because it's 3.14. So we said that pi was the ratio of the circumference divided by the diameter. So C divided by D was equal to pi, where C is the circumference, D is the diameter, and pi is pi. So we can use that then, that the circumference then is going to be pi times D. So in the same way, if we know 15 divided by 3 is 5, we know that 15 is equal to 5 times 3. So by the same logic then, we can say that the circumference is pi multiplied by D. And pi could be given as 3.14, or we can use the pi button on your calculator. And almost all, well, no, every scientific calculator will have a pi button. So example 1, find the circumference of the circle when the diameter is 12. And what we know, then the formula is C equals pi times D. So the circumference is going to be pi times 12. And I'm going to use my calculator for this and use the calculator button. So we get the circumference to be 37.699. So that would be 37.7 centimeters to 1 decimal place. Example 2, find the circumference when the radius is 4. So our formula for circumference is pi times D, but D is the diameter. But what we know is in a circle, if we've got the diameter and the radius, well, the diameter is twice the radius. Because we know the radius is the distance from the middle to the circumference. So then from the middle to one end of the diameter, it's going to be r. And from middle to the other end, it's going to be r. And then r plus r is 2r. So what we know then is the diameter here is going to be 8 centimeters. So it's going to be pi multiplied by 8. Again, along with this time, I'm going to just do it as 3.14 and multiply that by 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 2 and carry 3. 8 ones are 8 and 3 is 11. So 1 and carry 1. 8 threes are 24 and 1's 25. So I get 25.12 or 25.1 centimeters. Now had I used my calculator for that and done 8 multiplied by pi, I would have actually got 25.1327. So to 1 decimal place, it doesn't make a difference. So we can see 3.14 is a pretty good estimation for pi.